Oh, I'm so excited. I've been looking forward to this day for a while now. And ever since I saw you were coming to town, um, I started talking to my friends because I have a lot of friends who play the guitar
Oh,
and who know you and who have met you and are very impressed with you. And I know our listeners are all used to hearing your performances. And so I think it's really cool that they're going to get an opportunity to see you in person here in Dallas. So today, first of all, I'm joined by Xuefei Yang. Thank you. You go by Fei, and so I'll call you Fei for the rest of this interview. But thank you for joining me. How are you?
hello, Emilio. Thank you for your kind words. I'm really happy to return to Dallas to play. So Texas, uh, people in Texas is really warm. I started this tour in Houston. They were super warm, so I can't wait to return to Texas.
Well, the people are warm and the weather is warm too. And
Yes, that's
you
right.
made the
Almost feel like Spain.
you're so
Yeah.
right. To your point, you started in Houston. You're
Yes.
doing this loop around the United States and then
Yes.
coming back to Dallas. So you're starting in Texas and ending in Texas.
Yes.
Uh, Tell me about this tour because it's a 15 city tour and it's kind of something. It feels like you kind of set it up yourself, right? It took kind of a non-conventional path when booking this tour. You're playing a lot
Yes.
of large churches. You're playing a lot of really interesting spaces. Tell me about how you set up this tour.
Oh, actually, I didn't set up the tour myself. I mean, I play in America every year, but this is the first
Hmm.
time I do a coast to coast tour, so it is quite intense. And to be honest, I think the tour is more or less like a pop tour. It's set it up by this company called Concerts America, and it is a very, as you said, it's a very untraditional way. So I thought it's very interesting to give it a go, because so far we've been gathering a kind of untraditional audience. I feel that it seems like not the traditional guitar audience. I mean, there are guitar audience there, but I've met many general audience. They seems didn't know guitar so well, but they just love the concert. So this whole way, the touring, the way of touring, the way of marketing, and the venues and the audience, everything seems to quite untraditional. That's what made me interested to say yes at first place, because I thought, after COVID, the art scene suffered a lot. I mean, probably still suffering, probably forever. We have to change. We have to embrace some new ways. We have to find new ways to reach to audience. So I thought the organizer of the company I worked with him during the COVID through an online concert, and I thought he's really smart and using the new technology to reach to new audience. So I thought it will be interesting to try this tour in an untraditional way. And so far, I think it's been going really successfully. Yes.
That's awesome. And
Yes.
I'll say there is so much about you that is untraditional. Even from your arrangements, from your background, all sorts of things about your playing, and we'll get into some of that. But before we go further, I want to tell our audience that you're performing it's called Unity of Dallas on September 6th. And I've never been there. What do you know about the space? Have you been told anything about
Uh,
about?
not yet. I'm sort of I got a booklet, and then I go I some of the venue I've played before, though. Some of the
Mhm.
the venues I turn up and say, oh, I actually played here before. So
Yeah,
yes, so
that's awesome.
I played in Dallas also in the past, so I had fond memories playing there.
Well, I know we're ready to have you back, and I was talking to some of my friends actually from Austin Classical Guitar,
Oh yes, yes.
um, and just in preparation for our conversation about what we should talk about and a few things about you, and everyone was so excited that you're coming back to Texas and
Oh
they give their warm regards and they're very happy to hear that you're putting out this new album too. We'll talk about the new album. But I said, okay, what's interesting about Faye? What can I ask her? And what everyone said immediately is your journey through the music so far. It is just it's been so unconventional and so special. Uh, you want to talk to me a little about how you got to where you are right now? How does
Oh,
a young Chinese girl end up with a guitar in her hands at a time where, first of all, the instrument was non-traditional at the time, especially, and
yes.
especially for a young girl to pick up the guitar? How did all this happen?
Yes, it's been a long way actually. I mean, many people ask me why I chose guitar because, as you say, it seems untraditional in China to choose guitar. But actually, I really felt that it's the guitar who chose me, because
Mm,
when I was 7 years old, my parents wanted me to learn an instrument to calm me down because I was quite energetic. They were actually thinking about the accordion because accordion was the most popular instrument in those times. Because there were lots of choirs in China, and
mm,
accordion was like the cheaper version of keyboard to accompany choirs. So accordion was popular. And then my parents took to the music teacher in my school to teach me accordion. But then the music teacher said, oh, I was only 7, accordion was heavy, and she loved guitar. She set it up a guitar group. So they kind of just put me in a guitar group. But I didn't even know what a guitar was. I never saw such an instrument. I never heard of such instruments. I couldn't even remember the name because it's a foreign name. So it's a beautiful destiny now looking back. So anyway, cut a very long story short. So I loved the playing the guitar from the very beginning, but I never thought that I would be a musician. I never even knew a guitarist a profession as a guitarist existed. So anyway, so when I attended some events and I met some foreign guitarists, and then they told me that I could be a professional guitarist. I had a talent. I can be a professional guitarist. So this, and I saw some concerts. I thought, oh, that looks really charming, and I enjoy playing the guitar. So this idea of being a guitarist kind of planted in my head, but I really don't know what it means. And then I had a chance to enter the music school, the middle school attached to Central Conservatoire of Music in Beijing, but as an unofficial student, which meant I probably would graduate without diploma. And then my parents, being teachers, so they against me to take that path. They want me to stay in a good school and go to a normal university and get a proper job. They couldn't see any future of being a guitarist because there's no guitarist before me in China. They couldn't even see such a profession worked. So anyway, at that moment I became quite clear that maybe part of me was quite a rebellion child, and also I loved the music, so I was quite firm. I wanted to take the risk to go in a music school and to study music and to become a musician. But I actually didn't actually know what it meant to take this path. I was only 12, so I didn't think about future and so on. And then later I got the chance I got a scholarship to, well, I became the first one in China to graduate with a bachelor's degree in classical guitar. And after that, I got a full scholarship to go to Royal Academy of Music in London to pursue a postgraduate study.
mm.
And then after that, I got signed to a big agency in London. So I just started my career. But it all sounds very smooth, but looking back, it's a quite risky and a difficult path, really. Because now looking back, it's just I didn't think about it, but basically in China, I was the very first one to take this path to play guitar. There's nobody taking
Well,
that path before me.
that's interesting to think about, though, because obviously you don't know how good you are when there's no one else playing guitar around you, right? But as soon as you were discovered internationally, everyone recognized what a talent you were, and they said, "Faye, you must come play over here. You must come play over here." And
Yes.
everyone wanted to give you guitars to play. Everyone wanted you to record different kinds of music, and I think that this idea of exchange really became
Yes.
important in your journey too,
Oh,
because
yes.
we've heard recordings, and we have so many recordings of you playing Bach, and I love your recording of the Butterfly Lovers too,
Oh, thank
and
you.
it's so beautiful to hear you play Baroque and in even Chinese material, but you also play the Spanish repertoire. This new album, Chapeau Satie, you're playing French music, obviously.
Yes.
Talked and it's not even like how we've heard this music played before. You are so open to new interpretation. You're so open to this exchange. Tell me about that in exploring music with your guitar like that.
Yes, definitely. I think that guitar is such a diverse instrument, and also I myself as a musician, I feel that I have a wide interest, and I have a wide interest and a taste. And I think that think about in this world, almost every country has the plucked instrument, like folk instrument. So I think guitar is being a plucked instrument. We really could adapt a lot of different music. You know, it's such a diverse instrument, and I think it's important to be open-minded. You know, I think in the end of the day, I would rather to think about the music. I love music that is good and music that talk to me. I don't want to pigeonhole that, oh, I'm a classical musician, I have to play this, I cannot touch it. I don't want to think about this way. I just want to play music I love, and I think it's just musicologists they put music in a different group and different genre. So yeah, so I have done Spanish, Baroque, Brazilian, Chinese,
Hmm.
cross-cultural ones, and so on. So many different styles. I think that is fascinating also for me that I've toured to more than 50 countries, and then when I tour in a country, I'm very interested to know the local culture and to know the people there, to understand their culture, try to understand. I mean, and it's very important to understand their culture when you're playing their music. I think that is a very important part. So anyway, so and I have that privilege to to travel to different places and then and to communicate with their music. So it's really a privilege. So this new CD Chapeau Satie is to celebrate Satie's centenary year. This year marks
Hmm.
his centenary for his death. So celebrate his legacy, reimagine on the guitar, because Satie actually didn't write anything for the guitar. His most famous works, like everybody knows about, is the Gymnopédies, Nociens, and he's known for his unconventional style of writing, the minimalist style, the short and simple and avant-garde. Those were written for the piano. So at first I was thinking that those pieces, because they're short and then they're simple and then the minimalist, so they actually translates to guitar very beautifully. So this sparse texture could give me ample space to use the advantage of the strings of the guitar, to use the nuances. I could just use that a lot. But then when I digged into more repertoire, I find that not just the Nociens and Gymnopédies Satie wrote, he also wrote a number of cabaret songs. In his time, he lived in Montmartre in Paris, and there are lots of cabaret music halls, cafes, and he worked with the stars of the day. So he wrote. He's very much a man of his time too. So he wrote these songs.
Hmm.
So I also recorded this side of his music, and I had a singer and composer Louis Werner to join me and to be the singer. So this album kind of representing the two contrasting faces of Satie. So I'm very proud of this album.
I was enthralled the first time I listened to it all the way through. Of course, to your point, we expect the Gymnopédie and the Nocien to just be these beautiful ethereal works that we're so used to hearing, and so many different arrangements have been made of these pieces. And so I was like, yes, she's going to play these pieces so beautifully. Her guitar is going to sound warm. And then you get past those pieces, and as you said, we get into these cabaret works, and you say, well, this is a totally different side of her playing too. And to
Yeah.
your point, you have that flexibility in your playing and your technique too. But it just becomes it opens up a whole new world of Eric Satie's music. And I love this album, Chapeau Satie, and we'll be playing it on our station very
Oh,
much. I'm
thank you,
excited for our listeners to hear the deeper sides of Satie and some of the things
thank
that
you,
you uncover in his music.
thank you.
Um, let's see, what do I want to talk about next? What I want to talk about next is, to your point, guitar culture is completely its own thing, right? We talk about classical guitar in, I guess, just the construction of the instrument is probably the only appropriate way to talk about classical guitar. But the guitar itself is so expansive, and these communities built around this instrument are so dedicated.
Mm.
I have friends in Austin classical guitar. There are guitar societies all over the world. Will you talk to me a
Mhm.
little bit about the guitar culture and classical guitar culture?
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I see that I have a mixed mixed feelings. I mean, in a way, it's really nice that everywhere, in every country, there's guitar societies, as you say, and then the guitar, classical guitar societies, and then the classical guitar lovers, they gather together to share the knowledge, share the love, which is a great thing. But at the same time, I would love to see the guitar integrated in the bigger music family
Mm.
more in a way. This is a little bit of disadvantage for classical guitar because in the orchestra doesn't need a guitar. So we are a little bit on the edge of the the
Hmm.
classical music family. That's my feeling. Unlike the other orchestral instrument, they're kind of in the core family, and we are on the edge. Um, so that's actually part of the reasons why I have done so many collaborations. I've collaborated with cellists, violinists, I have flautists join me in the Shaposati and recorded with singers. I would love to see that guitar is more in the music family, more accepted as a serious instrument like a piano and as a violin, and I think a guitar deserves that place. So yeah, so I mean, the guitar societies are really charming, really great, but at the same time, I would love to see the guitar is being accepted in the core classical music family more, and more exposure there.
Then what is your next plan? What are you cooking up next with that
Well,
agenda in mind?
I think except for collaborating with other musicians, but also repertoire, I actually think the repertoire is also very important because
Mm.
if you say that sometimes people say that, oh, you only see when you go to orchestral concert, a program, a guitar concerto is always Aranjuez. But you can't blame the orchestra. I guess you can't blame the artist director. Certainly can't blame the guitarist because we haven't got that high quality. I mean, we have loads of concertos, but in terms of the famous one, it's not as many as the piano and as violinist. But then the thing is, you cannot go back to ask Bach to write concerto for us. You cannot go back to ask Beethoven to write concerto for us. It's too late. So what we can do is to ask the current composers to be interested in guitar and to write something for the guitar. And so I have been doing so. I have been encouraging composers to write for guitar, concerto chamber music, solo, or whatsoever. But even though that it is actually not easy, I find that because guitar is not an easy instrument to write for, and actually that's one of the reasons why the past masters, like Chopin, for example, Debussy, they all loved guitar. Chopin loved guitar. Beethoven allegedly said that guitar is like a little orchestra. But then if you don't play the instrument, you just feel nervous. You don't know how to write for the instrument. So
Hmm.
that's sometimes there's a barrier. So I think to communicate with the composer, to show them, to help them, to showcase what you can do on the instrument, uh, it's important part. So for example, like Aranjuez, also Rodrigo got help from San Maza. So a lot of
Hmm.
composers, when they wrote for guitar, they get help. Segovia helped the composer to write for guitar. So I think we need to collaborate with composer. So I think the repertoire is important. When we get more good quality repertoire, and I think then you will see guitar in the core music family more. I think.
You're so right, and even
Yeah.
the composers that did write for guitar, Paganini comes to mind. That
Mm,
gets pigeonholed as gypsy music, or to your point, cabaret music. Like it
yes.
gets pushed to the sides of classical music
Yes.
and not showcased in the middle. But you write yourself, though. Are you planning on writing larger scale works?
Oh
I know
no.
you write original music.
I've mainly done arrangements. I have arranged the Baroque, Spanish, Chinese. So basically, when I've done a lot of arrangements. I also played other people's arrangements. For example, like in my Chapeau Sati. So my way is this. First, I wanted to I want to say I want to play the Sati music, and then I found out some transcriptions, and some I thought, oh, wonderful. So I'll play their transcriptions. But sometimes I feel that, oh, I haven't found any transcription of this piece, but I think this piece will work very well on the guitar. Then I will do myself. So, so that's why I've done some transcriptions myself, but sometimes I found a transcript. I thought that's perfect, so I'll just play that. So it's a mixture of things. So in terms of writing music, I mean, I've done one little piece. I played in this tour and I received a very, very good reception. Maybe people think that, oh, it's my piece. But anyway, I thought that I wanted to do more writing because it's a different way of expressing myself.
Hmm.
I was a bit nervous in the past because I thought I wouldn't be Beethoven, but then now I thought that's not the point. Nobody will be a next
Nobody will,
Beethoven.
right?
It's about expressing yourself, and writing something is about your voice. So yes, that's definitely I will try more in the future.
Well,
Yes.
wonderful. To kind of wrap up, I want to talk about this upcoming performance one more time.
Mm.
Okay, so at Unity of Dallas, September 6th, you're wrapping up your tour. It's the final performance.
Yes.
Uh, Already, wow, coming to an end, a 15-city U.S. tour. Talk to me about some of the repertoire you're playing because it is varied, to say the least.
Yes. Yes, it's very diverse. So the whole idea is that I knew that this tour would probably gather a more wider audience. So I want to have something for everyone because people have different tastes. In America, it's also a very diverse country. So basically, the program will take the audience to four corners of the world: North America; South America; East, China, Japan; and West, Spain and Paris. So yeah, so hopefully something for everyone. So far, I feel like it worked very well. I feel like there's an audience from South America, there's an American audience, there's an Asian audience, and then they come to me, and then what I liked about it is everybody tell me something different. Some people said they like the Japanese, some people said they like the Chinese, some people said South American audience said, oh, they particularly like the South American pieces. And some people said they like the jazz stuff, so every piece get a good comment. So I thought, oh, so that works. The other thing I was thinking, I don't know if I should say it, is that I find that the world is quite divided as well. So I thought as a musician, artist, I would like to use art to gather people together, sit together,
Mm,
and using the culture to bridge the gaps between the people from different backgrounds. So
that's beautiful.
so far, I mean, the tour has gone past half, and the program worked well. So I'm glad.
Well, we're so glad that you're including Dallas in your list of cities, and I hope that you'll come back again and again and again, and bring more music and more diverse music. And I hope that you'll continue to write music for the instrument, take those chances. And I love your playing so much. And
Oh,
the
thank you,
new
Emilio.
album, Chateau Sati or Chapeau Sati, I'm sorry,
Chapeau.
Chapeau Sati, I'll be playing it a lot on the station. So thank you for that. Thank you for sending that our way.
Oh,
And
thank you, Emilio. Thank you.
congratulations. Thank
Thank
you.
you, Emilio. I really enjoyed talking to you, and thank you for your kind words. I certainly
Good
will
luck.
enjoy my time in Dallas.
All right. Good luck. And one
Thank
more
you.
time, Unity of Dallas, September 6th. And we look forward to hosting you.
Yeah, see you there.
Be safe. Take care.